Hey, what's up everybody? Another beautiful Sunday here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's August 2nd, probably close to about 11 o'clock now. Just got done with hives 1 and 2. Down here at hive number 3, heat index around 10 o'clock, so almost an hour ago. Already had the temperature over 100 degrees, so it's another hot one, but you know, nothing out of the usual there. All right, yeah, so down here at hive number 3, pulled honey last week from them, added a medium box. I can't remember if that had, yeah, that actually had 10 frames of new foundation, and I also provided a feeder in case you haven't watched last week's video with some 1-to-1 syrup. So for this week's inspection, just going to take a quick look at the medium box, see if they've actually used any of the provided sugar water to start drawing out some wax. That's the goal with adding the box this time of year. That's part of my overwintering preparations. Other than that, just going to get down into the brood chamber, take a look, see if I can spot the queen. They should be queen right, I have no doubt about that. It's not exactly swarm season. However, some of the other hives, hive number 1, had a queen cell, a very mature queen cell, waiting for me today, which I moved down into the second nuke box, which I'm calling hive number 8. I also took a frame from hive number 2, and I plan on taking a frame from hive number 3, and adding 3 frames of brood food and everything a split needs to get going, and then leaving 2 frames in there that don't have any wax drawn on the foundation to give them something to work to once the brood starts hatching. So plan on doing that with number 3, robbing them of 1 frame, which they should easily be able to rebound from. But yeah, other than that, just a routine inspection, and I feel comfortable taking a frame from number 3 because I've been coming out here in the evenings, and given how heavily this hive has been bearding, I have no doubt, just like hive number 2, I have no doubt that they have a healthy population of bees. Alright, so quick look at the super. What I call the super, it's just the top box, it's a medium. And when you don't have a queen excluder, you want to check your inner covers for the queen, because I have found her up there before. It was a pretty interesting video. And I did coat these. These frames with wax. So I think it takes them about 2 weeks to really get going with the wax production, from what I've noticed on other colonies. Yeah, I was saying that was a pretty interesting video. I took an inner cover off a hive, set it aside, and like out of the corner of my eye, I happened to notice the queen on the inner cover. And she actually flew around a little bit, which is something I've never seen before. Flew off the inner cover, back into the hive, flew from like one of the top bars down to the front entrance. It's definitely an interesting video to check out. The clip is on Instagram. You might have to go back a few weeks or a few months at this point. So I got 2 different in-hive feeders. These I purchased a while back from Brushy Mountain, who is out of business at this point. This type feeder, I mean, I don't think they're available anymore, but you can fit 9 frames, as you can see. However, it makes it pretty tight to get that 9th frame in. The other feeders, if you look at the other hive inspection videos, they have a wood top bar with 2 plastic tubes that give bees access to the food. Those I purchased from Man Lake. I believe they call them their Pro Feeder. And I feel like the specs are off, or not off, but are different just a little, because they're not as tight. Okay, so the queen's venturing out to the very first frame, the side that faces inside, or towards the center. It's probably a better way to say it. Center of the colony. This is frame 3. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to show you, but quite a few bees bringing in some very nice bright yellow pollen. Not exactly sure what that is from, but if anybody happens to know and you'd like to share that information, it's welcomed. Yeah, a lot of pupated larvae on both sides. So she's laying in frame number 3. This is frame 4. That brood might look spotty, but I can see down in between the cells they've already started to clean them out. And some of them have some pupated larvae, so they're continuing the cycle. Another pretty nice frame, a lot of stored nectar at the top, some nice brood. I might move this frame into the nuke I was referring to, that I made a split off of hive number 1 this morning. So we'll set that aside. So that's the 3rd one in now. I said it in a previous video, but I feel like some of these queens are getting very good at knowing when I'm inspecting. And the reason I say that is because I have found quite a few queens on the very last frame that usually doesn't have anything going on, doesn't have any drawn wax or anything, but they'll make their way all the way to the very last frame. In my opinion, they're trying to avoid whatever commotion is going on, which is, there's some nice pollen there, which is the inspection. This frame has a ton of larvae down in it as well. So that's another theory of mine. The left side of some of these colonies that get a lot of direct sunlight, the queens seem to really favor laying in those. I think it's because they warm up, or that part of the hive warms up early in the day, even though the morning temperatures are over 80 degrees anyway. Alright, last frame. Haven't seen her yet. And I didn't see her at all in this frame. Alright, so considering the frame from number 1, from hive number 1 and number 2 had a lot of nice capped brood, and now seeing this frame that has a lot of pupated larvae and eggs, I'm gonna shake these bees off. I don't see the queen, but you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. So I'm going to shake them off because the frames that I've moved into the nuke, again, which is what I'm calling hive number 8 at this point, the frames that I've moved in there have a lot of bees. So I'm going to go through this colony one more time, like I may have said, see if I can find the queen, cage her, and then potentially take a frame and shake it into the nuke. Actually, the nuke is where the camera is sitting, so let me move that real quick, and this might give you a shot. I'm going to position the side, this side that has a lot of the eggs and larvae next to the queen cell. And then this frame, as you can see, is just bare foundation. Okay, so there we go. They have 5 frames now. 3 of which have capped brood, 1 queen cell, eggs, basically everything they need to get going once that queen hatches, mates, and returns. So for now, let's see, let's do this just in case she dropped in to the bottom of the deep box. I was gonna say, let me pull this last frame again. She's marked, so shouldn't be too difficult to find her. I think last time I did this, I found her on like one of the very first frames, which is just kind of funny, I guess. It's more so out of curiosity, really, just to know that I saw her, and with how easy she is to find when she wants to be found with the blue dot. It really doesn't take much time at all just to go back through the colony. I mean, I have to put all the frames back in position anyway. Getting pretty good at hiding. That's for sure. Okay, well, I don't see her. I do have a few frames on the outside of the box, which I have found a queen on the ground before, and I also watched that same queen crawl back into the hive, so I have no doubt if they ever find their way outside the hive, they can navigate their way back into the hive. Let's clean this off. What's up with that? Alright, well, doesn't look like I'm finding her today. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Actually, I do have one more frame here. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Anyway, like I said, it's really not a big deal. I just think it's kind of cool to find her each time because she's relatively easy to find with that dot. Alright, let me get some sugar water, top them off, and that'll finish up today's inspection. Alright, let's get the box back on, smoke them down, get them out of the way. It is a hot one today, that's for sure. Alright, well, that does it for hive number 3. Did not find the queen this week, but plenty of frames with eggs, brood, and everything else you want to see. And you also saw I moved one of those frames, I think it was towards the end, frames probably 7 through 9, probably frame 7 really, into hive number 8, which is the second nuke. They now have 3 frames, one from hive number 1 with the queen cell, eggs and brood and food, a very nice brood frame from hive number 2 with some fat honey stores as well, and then the frame from hive number 3, which had a lot of new eggs and larvae and everything. So that does it for number 3. I'll check on them come mid-August. I'll probably refill the sugar water in the meantime, but as far as getting into the hive for an inspection, I'm going to give that 2 weeks and that'll be the new routine. So that does it for this week. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't done so, please subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. Oh, before I forget, let's take a look at this front entrance and show you how chaotic entrances can get come post-inspection. Alright, that does it for this week. Thanks for watching, everybody.